Good afternoon. Let's look at another big idea from lesson 1.5. This is how to solve an equation that has a square root. Now, if I want to get the x by itself here, I need to take the square root of both sides. Now, when you take the square root in an equation, that means we have to have the positive and the negative of the value that's there. So if I look at this, 169 is 13 times 13. So I see a pair. I can pull it out. So I end up with the plus and minus of 13. If I had x squared equals 16, I'm going to take the square root of both sides. X is going to equal the plus and minus of 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So I see two pairs of 2's, so I have to pull those out. So we get the plus and minus of 2 times 2, which gives us the plus and minus of 4. Let's look at another example. Here we have this a squared equal to 50. So again, I have to take the square root. So I know it has to equal the plus and minus because both positive and negative values would work. And I'm going to have 2 times 5 times 5. Here we only have one pair. We're going to pull that out. So we have plus and minus 5 square root 2. Let's look at another example. Here we have to do a little bit of solving first. So if I look at this, I have to add 10 to both sides. So 7r squared equals 35. Then I need to get the r by itself, so I need to divide both sides by 7. So r squared equals, in this case, it would be 5. And now we need to take the square root of both sides. And remember, you always have to have the positive and negative value. And because there's no way to simplify the square root of 5, that actually is your answer. Let's look at another example. Here, I want to do some things first before I deal with what's inside the square root. So I'm actually going to divide both sides by the number in front first. So I'm going to divide by 4, divide by 4. So now I have x minus 1 squared equal to 2. Now, because I have a square root here, I'm actually going to take the square root of both sides. So I have x minus 1 equals plus or minus the square root of 2. Now, in here, you can imagine this was the square root of x minus 1 times x minus 1. And just like any other factors, we saw a pair, we pulled one of them out. Now we have to move that 1 over to the other side, so we're going to add 1 to the end. So x is going to equal plus or minus square root of 2 plus 1. Now that plus 1 part is not underneath the root. So I think that was the last example for today. And that's the end of this big idea. Have a great day. Bye-bye.